You give it a minute since it's not technically time here. I know.
Oh,
While we're waiting, because we have Stacy.
don't remember late. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Do y'all know what that is?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
Very close to 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
She is 3:30. Okay. We will call the meeting to order. It is 3:30. We'll start with a roll call. So, Lisa?
Here.
Nolan? Here. Carol?
Here.
Maddie?
Here.
Amanda is excused, I heard, and I am here, and Sandra.
Yes.
That is who is present. Business from the public. The Creating Housing Coalition, Stacy Bethel. If Dad here to be Stacy about whether she's going to make it today or if she's going to miss.
I spoke
Because she was gonna be here, so.
with her today. She said, see you later today, and I assumed this is what she meant.
Okay.
Just make it running late.
Yeah. So we can always open up a discussion item under business from the members if she comes in. But otherwise, if we have nothing, we will close business from the public and move on to approval of the May 14th minute.
I'm going to approve the minutes as written.
So discussion, I have one item under the scheduled business discussion items A, the commission communication update. I would like to discuss making it explicit that the committee policy is to keep the set meeting time. And so I would like that to be explicit in the minute, just as a reference point in case we ever need to go back. But that is what we're going with moving forward.
In business from commission, she checked in for the plans of the commission to like add it right there. And she checked in like right for everyone.
Okay. I just want to let them be, I know that it was just a slight change in the policy from we had to have done, and we were just trying to hold it unless people told their option.
I will get an amendment to include that change.
Very much. Just a second, continue with the, okay, second is in agreement. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes with that slight change, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Opposed, Commissioner minutes are approved. So scheduled business. First thing, we're gonna knock it out. So this is something that we're just trying to get ahead of. To my knowledge, and I assume Dale's, we have not yet had anybody submit using AI created art or AI assisted art. But it is a big conversation piece in the art community and the museum community broadly. I'll say I didn't spend a ton of time looking into this because I'm confident other people have stronger opinions than myself.
Welcome, welcome.
Sorry.
Computer.
This be a little long meeting. Or do we-
The chair, you can always go back and amend it.
I'm making a meeting that would, we have to sit for the whole meeting. Go open business, but we'll come back to the discussion items. With business rate. And conversation with.
Oh, it's none of that's for you. I didn't even know that's for you, but you're welcome to it.
No,
It's on me.
Public. So if we reopen business, public. We have today's problem, creating housing coalition here to discuss previous discussions. I don't know.
That's all right. So, thank you for coming. So this will be an opportunity for us to kind of have a little bit of a collaborative conversation. As last year, we spent a lot of time trying to get the ball rolling to apply for a sizable grant, but all the pieces of the puzzle just did not come together. And so this group kind of took a step back, realizing that as we move forward, we've received a $1,500 grant from Republic Services to go towards a mural that involves unity and community pride. Good stuff. The mayor's mural that was kind of being discussed where people would go by their paint color and all of that, it became a little too cumbersome. And I hope I'm not speaking on behalf of this group, but I think it's accurate to say that that is no longer necessarily a priority. We love the themes of unity, we love a mural, but we want to try to make it as approachable as possible for everybody. So what that leaves us with is $1,500, which is not enough to procure paint and a professional muralist. And so let's talk about possible options that we could have moving forward to propose to you and have your thoughts on it to see how we can move forward. Sound all right so far?
So far.
Okay. All right. So we kind of have a couple options. One is that we thought we could potentially put out some sort of like call for community, for local artists to submit their ideas. This group would be able to come, look through it and say, ooh, we like this, and be able to know that they would be donating their and their service, which we have some mixed feelings about, but you know what, it's okay. Recognition and community support is hopefully worth it. So that would be one option. Another one would be working with our local high schools or Lynn Community College or Oregon Community or Oregon State to say, hey, in your art programs, is this a project that you all would be interested in taking on? Knowing that we could offset, costs for materials, but that it would be a group project and an opportunity there based on themes that we could then discuss. Or the third thought is, which I don't think any of us really stands up, but we just need to throw it out there, is that if we aren't able to come up with a agreement or something that we think is positive for both groups, that we would amicably walk away from it saying your wall is back to yours and we support anything that you put in it. Thank you for building it and giving us a chance to talk about it. So, do I summarize it okay? Let this begin.
I guess the first question is, do you build a wall yet?
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have a fence in there.
Okay.
It's a temporary structure. Which is what we would have put up had we not started with that discussion.
Were you able to fundraise for the wall?
Oh, we haven't done it yet because we're not.
Oh, okay, we're not there.
We haven't got an agreement yet.
Okay.
Because that's not the hardest part.
So then, okay, so with it comes all the permitting and building and all of that stuff. And chatting with our legal folks, because one of the things that came up was the hiccup last time. Oh, we would need to have like easement and all that kind of good stuff. So I think at this point, if we did the art and then we turned it over to you all and you said, you know what, we're gonna maintain it and all that kind of good stuff, then there wouldn't need to be an easement. If there is to be any maintenance, we need to go through that process and figure out how we can have access.
Hang up, I didn't read.
Oh, I apologize. So yeah, legalities of things, man, kill all the fun. So, so that's something that we would need to continue to kind of talk through to figure out how we would be able, if the city is going to be responsible for upkeep and maintenance, and maybe, yeah, so that's something that we still need to talk through. Do you have any preferences as the owner of possible said future wall?
Who take care of you?
Of what type of process we would be interested. You seem very excited about the idea of working with the schools or LBCC or the high schools or anything like that.
Yeah, because that seems to be something that's very community based, and so I think it would provide a lot of enthusiasm. because we were able to raise a lot of enthusiasm for the village, and I think something that's like that would be enthusiastic, especially kids, because kids generate enthusiasm.
You know where this wall is? It's not built yet. It's a fence, right? It's but you did some very well. And we're the mayor's under part. So that was awesome. It's just the wall, right? We have to decide whether you're going to maintain it. Those are whether you're going to maintain it or the city's going to maintain it after we find us to decorate it, right?
Yes. Okay. If we had come to an agreement that we want to continue to proceed with the said wall.
If not, then you wouldn't even make the wall. You're just going to keep it a fence. Is that what's happening?
Right, and because we have to do something for the village, or we'll be living in those two homes.
I think one of the other things that we thought about with this was originally was at 30 feet, we were gonna do 30 feet. So we could scale that back somewhat, and maybe that expense of that wall would also shrink at the same time if we just did panel to start with. I don't know, where it's sort of focused.
That's a good idea, because we could have a fence on either side.
Yeah. Wall. That's what I was thinking. So something where the design made sense, but would integrate the wall, the fence.
Well, we can have multiple artists too, right? We can have different pattern, many patterns.
If we could, maybe we can have a panel every year or every 2 years or something. I don't know.
More in concrete, actually, city road is more of a process. I think we would realize.
I think it just, maybe just.
So at some point, I had mentioned a pixelated mosaic design, and I'd like to revisit that. If possible, it would cut back on the cost of paying an artist to actually paint the wall, and it would bring more community involvement. So the pixelated mosaic is basically where you take
One big,
think of it like a coloring book page, for example. Or like a paint by number, right? And there are grid lines, and each grid is say numbered, and then each number has a color associated with it. So you would just take the color associated with that square and paint that whole square that one color.
Oh.
And then so when you step back, each one of those squares together form the design. And so it would be a way for us to have the mural completed by members of the community that want to come and paint part of the wall. We would just need to get an artist to design the layout of the mosaic. So whatever design we choose or they choose, and then just make it grid.
Pixelated.
And pixelate it, exactly, and get that mapped out, and then get that mapped onto the wall.
So are there programs, like computer applications that will pixelate something like that?
I have no idea, but I would assume that there probably is.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
So maybe that we don't have to the artist with that expertise as well.
Exactly. I was also thinking that,
No.
I was thinking that if we involve, LBCC or OSU, art departments, they would know how to do that. And they could probably design something like that for us. And that would also cut down costs.
Because I can imagine, a little kid who gets a wear of blue can actually paint that, right?
Yeah.
And then a teenager, and then older.
And then as these children grow, they feel more invested in the community.
They have this wall that they helped paint, and as they grew up and drove past it or walked past it, they know that they were creating it. And it builds the strong sense of community.
So then what's that, what would be the upkeep on something? Right, I mean, I would, I think minimal, just weathering and having to repaint it, but that could be another community event. Repaint it.
There's anti-graffiti coating. And in that case, we can either pressure wash or scrubbing. We're potentially gonna be working with a local painter to demo some of their like anti-graffiti paint. It'll be the first time they've used it, and see what it wears. So, there are coverings, but it still does mean somebody needs to go out and scrub a little bit if somebody does tag. With that said, most of the time, public art, murals, and it's necessity.
It's highly likely to get desecrated.
Yeah.
Lucky. Which is nice for us.
So am I hearing that there is still interest on both sides? I can communicate that it'll have a unity theme. Albany unity theme. Unity. That we're gonna work with the school. And that to put together a design, and that it'll be a community event. So I can communicate that information back to our public services and say, hey, this is different than the grant that we originally submitted with this revised purpose or idea. Are you guys still on board? Hopefully they will say yes, still take our $1,500. And at that point, then we lock it in with you guys. You begin fundraising for sized wall.
There you go.
Does that work?
See what?
I think we just need to put the pieces together. We'll have to redesign the wall, get new figures on what it will cost to build, because you want us to build a wall. So
We don't have the money to build the wall, so they were going to do fundraising for it.
I know, but it sounded like you wanted us to build the wall. I'm confused.
No, you're fundraising to build the wall, right?
Okay,
We just come in and add the color.
we're just doing the mural.
Is it both sides or one side?
The inside is residence, someone's home.
Okay.
We don't need to know the cost, but we do need to redesign that here from 30 feet down to 10.
With a pixelated mosaic, it might be easier to go big.
It's enough to build.
Building and actual paint. Yeah. So that would be something that you would want to go back, Stacy, to your board and crew and say, hey, we've got this new idea. How big would we want this? And based on the quotes that you get for developing that, come back to us and give us space. The
spacing help.
the spacing.
Yeah, before we do that, I'd just like to say that if we start really big again, like 3 feet, I think that's overwhelming. If that project, for a community project, and if it is smaller, I think we can get it done. We can be sure that we have enough people to take care of it. Because getting people involved sometimes is really hard. You might think it would be easy, but it's not. It is.
Pretty, very close to 30.
Yeah. I think so too.
When things are, anyway.
Okey dokey.
And I will go back to my board because I was looking forward to this so that I could get this information to them, whatever the proposal is. And I would like to do that.
Cool.
Great.
All right. Thank you. We appreciate the opportunity to continue to work on this.
Thank you. So I'm going to tell them that the idea is, we decide on the size of the wall that we would like and what we would want to do, and then bring that back to you so that you all can use that dimension to solicit the opportunities for people to come in. Or for the artists and design, people to come in. And Eileen Quinn, she's the Just Serve lady. And she is excellent at bringing people together. What was her name? Ilynn. WINN.
Contact them.
Or do you have to?
Okay.
And congratulations, as I understand you're doing an opening very soon. Ribbon cutting?
July 13th.
With 3 to 5 p.m.
And cookies.
Again, July 13th.
When are you gonna open it?
Oh, we already have all of our events. There's be 34 people living in 27 tiny homes, ages 4 to 80.
That's so exciting.
34 people in 27. What time was the opening? 3 to 5.
And the date again?
July 13th, Saturday.
Oh, where's this at? I'm sorry, I'm so new to it.
241 Waverly Drive. Southeast.
Thank you.
Okay, well, it's on there, shouldn't it? Oh, Courtney, you haven't go to, yes, yeah. City Village is your name, okay?
Okay.
Village, and you know, it takes a community to create a village. So, that could be a fun.
I love that.
And it takes the
Little.
Ooh. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah. That. Okay.
Okay, so now we will close the public one again, and we will return to scheduled business, discussion items and the AI art policy. So I was introducing this as a topic. So I was saying, I imagine there are people that have probably more thought out stance than I do on it. I will say I did look up a couple things just to try and see, and I think one of the main elements is that this is an emerging technology. There are ethical concerns over it, but not all organizations are taking an immediate stance of absolutely not. They are just asking for proof of it being ethical. So utilizing the technology that is only using open source or copyright-free materials, things like that, because there are some of these AI algorithms that are using only open source material. That's a part of the policy position from National Art Educators Association is that there are benefits to the policy, to AI art, and then there are challenges to it. So that's kind of where I'm with it. Would anybody like to open up the fair thought?
I don't know that I would know by just looking at something, whether it was AI created or not. I would have a clue. So I'm not sure how we.
I mean, we would probably just have to remind people at this point in time, people make stuff of their artwork in general, right? You could submit a series of pieces that they purchased from somebody else.
My question is, how do we determine, or how do we differentiate the difference between something that is AI created and something that is just kind of slightly digitally altered?
Yeah, that's a great question.
We can't, but there's proof in their work. I mean, but there would be, if it's a digital image that they're creating in Photoshop or something with like a collage, it's something similar that an AI could also create. So really, we wouldn't be able to tell. We saw that they saved the work on their computer, and
Yeah.
you know, there's really no way.
So like a specific file format, But they're, so these are, to my understanding, I mean, it's just your standard kind of digital output. David Twitter platform.
Or something, right? It's AI or something like that.
So I let me throw out an example that I was just thinking of. Someone paints a picture and on canvas with oil paints, and then it's an original art. They then take a picture of it and put it in computer program and touch it up on the computer and then have that printed on canvas. Is that AI art?
Yeah.
No?
No, that's just digitally enhanced.
So if you have as the tool, what
Mhm.
paintbrush, in other,
Right.
so even going back into the photography of, the 1800s, somebody sometimes touched something up or they colorized something by hand, tinted it by hand. That was really popular in the 1940s.
Mhm.
But all of these things are the tools
Yeah.
that the person who's creating the art has used to bring a finished piece of art to the public. Whereas the AI, when you feed it prompts in, show me, give me a dinosaur who's dressed in a sweater, on a street in Paris in 1924.
I understand that.
Yeah.
My main concern though is when it's significantly altered from what they actually painted.
Totally different. That's not AI. AI is where there is a code. There is like an intelligence of sorts, that artificial intelligence. So you're they're using their own intelligence to determine where they're putting the strokes, where they're enhancing their image. Whereas AI will do it on its, will kind of make it its own. Using its own AI.
Understand that. I'm just concerned with someone taking like an image that a child has made and then putting it into a computer and then making it like a masterpiece.
Maybe they use AI to do it. They just use.
That's really you as the result. It's still creative.
Yeah.
Creative.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but where's the style being drawn from in the program that you use? Is it in thousands or thousands of artists across history to develop a product?
No, I think the questions that there is any issue with using like an AI assistive tool to help you cut out, like you have a photo and you remove an individual person from it, the AI help assist you by doing that outlining. That all seems fine because that's not an ethics question. The AI, it's just speeding up the process.
Right.
Where the ethics comes from, and I think what we should be debating mainly is, do we allow a program like Midjourney that has scraped the internet of copyrighted material, has modern artist styles incorporated in it that artist style not given permission? Do we allow people who put prompts into that? And then instead of taking an original piece and then running it through AI, what about taking an AI generated image, even if it's from Midjourney, and then doing your own tweaks? How much tweaking have to be before it's now humanly altered? The Copyright Office has actually approved a comic book as copywritten, based on the way that the artist laid out the comic book and the text they incorporated, because that was still their original text. But all the images within it you could remove because they were all generated by AI. But they still copyright fee. You can't reproduce the comic book, but any individual image you can, because that is not copyright, which is an interesting case. It's super fun.
What question you were mentioning, a program, or
Midjourney.
is that an expensive program?
There.
There's only a handful of generators that mid-journeys are the big ones.
Yeah.
You can go to any AI website, shows no AI, and it can create your prompts that is probably going to some sort of mid-journey. I think there's like 4 or 5 main.
And then there's free versions that depending on the number of things, then you can use it, and then there's subscription services, which is one of the question points as well. People pay to use this, but I'm sure using it being used as a is not going to be appreciated.
So your question also is, should we allow people who use primarily ones that use open source or and not copyrighted?
Mhm.
Or should we just like allow Midjourney as well?
Yeah,
We would have to trust that with what it's said.
yeah, ultimately comes back to yes.
Trust.
Do it and say, yeah, that's fine. And we would know there's plenty of examples of jury exhibitions awarding AIers award.
Yeah.
This would be it's a fair point that you're not going to be capable of telling people's honesty.
Would we get in trouble then if it was found out that someone, like say, happened to see their copyrighted images here and then they would get in trouble?
I don't know that it's something these folks here was permitted by an artist.
Okay.
So there's only so much due diligence that we can.
We can do, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what that makes sense. Thanks. Okay. Now this is the icky questions, what we're gonna have
I think we need to table it because I just don't think we have enough information yet. To really be thinking about it.
The main thing comes down to do we want to form, so and something you can certainly think about and research on separately. But do we want to allow it? If we're going to allow it, if there are a certain percentage of work that will be humanly created rather than algorithmically created. And then those would just be questions that you would put on applications, right? You would assume people have to answer honestly.
Right. I personally myself, I don't care. I really don't care so much. If they bring in AI and if we like it, it's nice, and okay.
Since we don't have a way to determine none of us are experts in it.
It's really hard to tell even
So I don't think we should do anything. I kind of doubt that we would see a lot of that coming through this gallery, at least not in my experience.
There's about to be some like in community. It could be very likely that I think people choose to participate and they're going to be very comfortable with this.
Can we ask, do some investigating and find out what like the art center's policy is and maybe the Salem, Bush, center and that kind of thing and see if they're doing it, because I don't think little old us can be a better involved.
Yeah. Hundreds of tables.
It's definitely a solution looking for a problem for us. It's just something that it is because it's being tackled everywhere. And some galleries, let's say I know state university has a specific call out for AI. So it is something that they're embracing, and actually their arts department is working with their product department in terms of curating exhibition.
do that here.
So it'd be an option to yeah, you can go either fully block it.
Just accept it, like let's do
Right.
I like the idea of asking other organizations and other groups what their policies are. I think that it would be a great idea to really bring those to the table and try to form our own policy based on several other policies that are already in place with other organizations. Also,
I think that just intuitively, my thoughts would be, of course, we have to ask the artists flat out, make it part of the submission process. Is this AI generated? Is your artwork AI created? And I would assume that, talking about percentages, we would probably, just again, my intuition is saying we should ask them if it's more than 50% their original work. Because anything more than and because anything more than half is a majority. And that's just kind of my thought.
This is gonna be ever evolving, because it's gonna change, and as an artist, I play with it, but I'm like not, I won't say I support, but I embrace it as a new medium because it's not gonna go anywhere. And we're witnessing a new ism that I don't think a lot of us have been able to see isms be created, and this is gonna be new. And it's not gonna go anywhere, and it's only gonna get and more. So I think it really comes down to maybe representation, how they represent it. Are they representing themselves as an AI artist, or are they like one issue, like at the museum I see, or well, anywhere really, and the photographic community is going nuts over this right now because there's so much images out there that are being portrayed as real, that aren't real, never would have been real, can't be real. They say it, this so and so at this location in 1850, and obviously, you know, they weren't around in 1850, or you know, Abraham Lincoln standing on the Golden Gate Bridge, you know. Didn't happen, but you know, people are making AI. Yeah, is I guess how are they representing themselves? Is that they're creative outlet? Then we should probably accept it. But if they're representing it as something realistic, then yeah, it's for misinformation, then probably not accept it, right?
I would invite you to comment, but I feel like you have things you would.
Well, yeah, but it's all over the map. It's not like I can distill it into one part because it's so complex. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm just, you know, that's a great artist. Because, for example, what happens, I had this idea for a book that I wanted to publish. I was using all historical photos. There were snapshots that I would get from Goodwill and I was writing poetry, prose poetry to go with each photograph from each time period. And then I did some more research and found out if there was a family member who recognized a family member in it, and that image wasn't 100 years old, I could be in trouble with it, like through copyright and so forth. So does that mean then that I could take that snapshot, run it through an AI program, include another background, and be safe? Yeah. Because it's all been, you know, improved, and you can't keep up with the copyright things anymore. I mean, I don't see how this is going to. I think it's just a jumbled up mess right now. And it's really tough for each of us to kind of be comfortable with something that we can decide. And I think that asking people to say, is this your work, until we can come up with right.
The application form would be that.
Well, I see how.
I did look at the application form. We know we're expressly asked that, is this your work? We just make the assumption that it is.
Yeah.
That is potentially something we know.
If somebody comes here with 10 prints that they want to hang out, cats in outer space,
Yeah.
not going to have obviously fake. They say they generated. They probably are. Okay, but if they're saying these are historical photos from Civil War, then
But it's what you're saying, that if somebody uses Midjourney and says, put cats in, cat cats in outer space on the moon, that's gonna be okay?
If it's good,
Just because it's just generated a few words? Perhaps they need to have a label that.
or made that.
I think that could be.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the museum, and we are working on a project together to generate artwork, and it is using AI then doing follow-up cleanup as a visitor artist to represent part of the rumors and legends and stories of Albany that have no documentation because of this ghost or it's in the local lore of it. And we're going to have things our discussion clearly labeled because we don't, particularly museums, don't want people to mistake that any of this. Hopefully, a lot of it will be very clearly obvious to people. The ghost or the Sasquatch story.
Cages.
Yeah.
Cages and animals or something, yeah.
Yes, there's which will be super cool and we think, but it isn't. We've been discussing how to move very active. How to make sure people know this is. Yeah, but I'm very clear with it. So I think that would be an excellent point. It's using and a generative AI image of some sort of there's an image that is like that way there.
Yeah.
It would be labeled, Rich Bergman Hotel, Silver Dolphin prints, would be
Right.
John Smith,
That's your media.
Cat in Outer Space, AI.
Yeah, yeah. And I can see quite obviously some of this being solved, or some of this a few years down the road,
Yeah.
that there will be clear copyright laws that are rewritten. Some of this, I would think, that we'll see.
You can't copyright generative AI.
Oh, we could end these. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so it sounds like we need more time to think on it to get a definitive policy in place. We would like, I can do this. If you have recommendations, but we check with the core values, right center, the Galen or Gil.
Yeah, maybe that's one.
And check local and Portland-based galleries too,
Yeah.
larger ones, and even, Seattle, whatever they do.
Right.
Eugene Cook has got a college there and a lot of college students who get there.
Yeah. I guess I think colleges are leading edge of accepting it.
Why not? I know they have an exhibition on stuff.
So we'll check in on a few policies and bring this back as we think we'll from next meeting. We'll table it when somebody has anything else. So future. We'll keep it to the agenda. Awesome, great conversation. Discussion item 2, the upcoming local art event. This is a pretty standard one. I know Amanda's usually the one who's got things for me. She's not here, so I'll see if she'll be. Okay. So 3, fundraising. This is from Maddie.
Okay, I know last meeting we sort of tabled the discussion about the Albany antique industries, but this is the applicant we have this meeting, and we have had an offer from someone to pay for it this year. So if there's somebody else who wanted to, in this group, who wanted to take this on, this is the application.
What is it for? It wasn't here last meeting.
It's for a antiques and streets booth, and last year we solicited donations.
Us as a commissioner, we solicited donations.
And then took it, set it up at the event, and then all of the money that we made went into our fund for paying for the reception.
It's a physical donation. monetary.
Yeah, yeah, right.
We also have a monetary donation.
Yeah, we did. So that is, I just brought that just in case, and like the time of the offer. No benefit, we'll pay for it. Of course, if you're interested. So then on the Pride booth, that's June 22nd. I still haven't gotten the set of information from Keith yet, so the time we can bring stuff in, but basically, we're probably gonna have our Pride booths, right? So we're having a separate booth. Commission will be in there, and will be next to the city. And Keith, the organizer of Pride, gifted us with the booth. It's free to us. So we don't have to pay the $50 there, or the $75, I can't remember what it was. And then I am planning to bring a lot of, I've been gathering things for the last couple of 3 months, little giveaways and perks and stickers and tattoos and pride this and pride that. So, you know, just so we can kind of make a colorful booth and hopefully get the donations. I think you will want to do like both our square, or no, it was pay and, you know, have our little cash box there too, possibly. I'd like to see us do a raffle of some sort so that we can have people, also have the option to win a couple prizes. I don't know.
As far as the raffle, we built a very large pride flag.
Okay.
It's bigger than 5x3.
Oh,
it's like very large. That somebody won last year, but they never picked up. So roll it back in. So we've got a very large prize that has been donated to us that we can recycle.
Oh,
People know you could win.
yeah, and we can do, I've got banners that go with everything, and we can display that stuff too. Some of them would be worth people to pay for.
Yeah,
So
I think the visual is important, if they can see what it is.
but a lot of giveaways. So giveaways.
And it's a Saturday. And
Yeah. Well, God, sorry, I think
It starts at 10, 7 to 8.
yes, I was gonna say that was the A, yeah.
Yeah, a,
So
and
we,
these to what time?
and 4,
Four.
yeah,
And do we have people signed up to work the booth?
and I'll be there all day, so I'm gonna need help throughout the day.
Okay, so,
And to set, or just basically on the table and put our stuff out. So, I mean, are we getting our tables from you? Or- Okay.
We'll give it to people and
Yeah.
people again, we can finally come through on because it'll be staffed.
Yeah.
I know that I have like our city table sign up here. We've got it split from 9 until noon, 11:30 until 2:30, and 2 until 5. So if you want, we can send this around and you can create your own Fritz commission if you want, or heck, you can add it on there and then I'll figure it out myself.
Yeah.
So if you're able to grab a shift that way,
Yeah.
you've got it documented.
Yep.
I'm so sorry. It's my birthday month. Oh, thank you. It happened.
my birthday too, you know.
It's a busy weekend.
See ya. See ya. Well, that's cool. And I can also, I have a lot of rainbow stuff. Stainless string. Oh, yeah. We can incorporate it. Great.
Yeah, I'm gonna be going.
Yeah, if I paint a rainbow themed something, could I donate that?
Why not? Maddie did last year with her poster.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do that.
So is there anybody else on that list, or is it just me?
So we'll reach out to Amanda. We're gonna have a few all day, and then Lisa will be in the morning. So we'll be somebody in the afternoon. But I'll pitch the afternoon shifts to Amanda.
Okay.
With that said, there will be somebody next door to the booth.
Yeah.
If you use a restroom or do anything like that, there still will be some.
The other thing I will do is I'll reach out to the ADA and see if there's any volunteers. I mean, they will be getting their full booth stuff too. see if we can maybe share some people and would ask the rest of you who are on other boards or commissions to also reach out to other people that you know and ask them to volunteer.
And I think that's all I have, right?
Item 4, public art book.
Yes, so I just met with Mayor Johnson and because I'm still kind of understanding what I'm supposed to be doing. I said, aren't you supposed to be representing you? Is there something you want me to present to the board or something? And he said he did want me to bring this book. He already has one. Now, I don't know, I've been looking at it, I've been going through it. It's very interesting. Lots of stats, lots of suggestions, lots of hot in other cities and how much are generating, what it generates, like community and all that stuff. So I don't know, should I read it first and then like come back and let you guys know like highlights? It's a book, it's okay, so The Economic Power of Public Art. So again, it's talking about the statistics of how much is being put into public art in different cities, and what generates as far as community and revenue for the city as far as people working on it. So a whole bunch of different stuff. So I don't know what to do with it. He just said I want you guys to present it, so I don't know, should I?
Sure, if you want, you can pass it around, folks can flip through it, kind of take a look. I've seen it as well. It's a lot of really beautiful pieces, multi-million-dollar pieces.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But it's awesome. Cultural identity and public engagement, which is what we see.
I think it could be seen as like an idea generation book.
Yeah.
If there would be anything good this group would like really get behind and pitch to the council, it might provide some opportunities or, you know.
Okay, well then I'll just, I guess I can pass it around, but then I'll take it. And if I have anything I can. Yes, that's great. And I'll have a look, right? Have you heard of this book?
Yeah.
So that's that. He already has his own, and I just wanted to bring it, show you guys, but I want to read it further, so I'll just take it.
Here.
Sure.
Okay, as I said, we will move on to discussion item 4.
Right, so again, but with Mayor Johnson would like to have a meeting with the city council, a joint meeting with the city council with us. I don't know, is that something that we normally do? We do it yearly, right? Don't we?
Yeah. You know, our commission has presented in front of city council a couple of things, mostly asking for permission for things like permission to submit grant.
Like they're asking us,
We were asking.
we're asking them. Oh, okay.
But I did pitch at one point and then keep me in, I'm gonna doing like a article like the historic, the land use commission doesn't work ceremony for the historic preservation. We should do something. I think
Who are we?
we would have to decide, we would have to figure out criteria.
Okay.
What the time.
Who would be a
I mean, but there's products. I mean, you can do long running projects like that has been going. If we think that the season over at the theater is what makes it, we should be interested in those projects. Event here. So there's options if that work. So if they're gonna do there's options, right? We would just need to determine what's the timeframe we're looking at for the award, what is the criteria that should be a public art piece, is it just something that is there in general, but we're excited to happen in the community. With that.
It could also be several. It could be for, you know, a project, a organization, or it could also be for an individualist. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So she would be very deserving. But that's never.
Good.
So what with the joint, what is he hoping to get out of it?
He didn't really specify. I think he just wants to. And
Kim might have some feedback.
Sure. I've been meeting this before city council. It's really interesting. it was pretty cool, but there was like a topic, it's like a reason. It was very specific way we have joint meetings. Joint meeting, we put the topics.
I can throw something out there.
Well, we want to meet before break if possible,
Yeah.
before break.
What break?
They're taking a 6-week hiatus in July and August, and pretty much agenda's already set. So I can chat with the mayor about that. We would need to be on the other side. For example, the Human Relations Commission is asked to do a joint meeting. They're gonna be on July 22nd. And their meeting is gonna be talking about reviewing of purpose and asking for clarification. So there is very specifically, the group is sitting in front of them saying, this is what our charge is. We would like bulleted out items as to what that actually means and what resources you're gonna give us to do that. So that is a very direct conversation that I think is more than a presentation and a brief Q&A. I think with this group, and I can chat with the mayor a little bit more, but what I would suggest is for us to get on the calendar to do a present as to, here's what we're doing. Brag about all the fundraising you guys have been doing, brag about the grants, brag about the receptions, brag about potentially working with Hub City, the fact that you guys have been at the largest garage sale. Like there is a lot that you all have been doing that while I try to feed into my weekly reports, it doesn't carry as much weight than actually seeing the people that you've appointed up there proudly showcasing. And I think it would be an opportunity for you to say, here's everything that we have done. Here are our goals. Let us know if you have any questions. Is there anything that we're missing? You can talk about if you want to look at redo some of the public art in City Hall and how you're going to be inventorying and possibly bringing items. Heck, it could be the one where you bring things to say, can we please decommission these pieces and sell for future art? So I think there is certainly opportunity for a 20-minute presentation. I just don't know if it will hour joint meeting. There isn't a topic, it's more of a show and tell and say, give feedback.
Meaning, you know, and I'm still trying to figure out, okay, no, you're great. I mean, yeah, guys,
It's fun. But I think that would be something that I would probably recommend. If the group was interested, we should probably, with September, when we come back after the hiatus, those meetings are gonna be very long and packed because anything that needed to happen in the last week are gonna go there. So I personally say it should be something that we can look for in the fall or at the start of I would probably actually say the fall, because that way when terms expire and either you all are back around this table again, or you folks are there, they're able to say, hey, this is what we've done, here's what we're doing, get on board.
Cool.
That would be my 2 cents.
Okay, so we'll be holding off on joint meeting, but it's sort of presentation, come up with more specific aim for the fall, which would actually be great because I think the National Endowment for the Art lists, I think it's October, like Arts and Humanities Month. But that would be a great time to do this presentation, potentially do awards if we're going to do the awards idea. If we're gonna, at that point, it might be a good time to pitch, hey, we did extra money, budget. But yeah.
I'll start scooping around for a date and bring those next time we meet.
We'll close out the scheduled discussion items. And then we have one action item, the City Hall Gallery. We have 5 submissions in it. Just for the sake of time, I don't particularly want to go through each individual, and I prefer to just approve them if we can. But I will start by saying I do have 2 that I want to ask about. So the easier of the 2. Andrea Snyder, I believe she's the 5th in the package, listed 5 pieces, but it did mark no, not interested in showing at the same time as other artists. So
She's a very well-known artist, really good for us because she would bring a lot of people, a lot of interest, and she has hundreds of pieces.
okay.
So I just need to.
Great, I just was concerned if they're saying they only have 5 pieces, but they don't.
Double check.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, Okay. So we need to see if they. What would that mean? Could we approve her and just double check if that was a user, if he's not taking?
He's probably thinking a solo show because she has some
Oh,
work.
okay, so just didn't.
We should have, read them.
And then I'll reach out, yeah, and say, if
Okay,
we
just
do.
wanted to be clear.
And what would be a good number for me to tell her in order to have a solo show?
Great question, please.
Well, we have been talking to do about that, but I think, 80 pieces will fill up, depending on the size, it'll fill up the whole downstairs.
Okay.
And upstairs, there's another maybe 3, maybe.
Okay.
So, depending on what she feels like she wants to do. And so far, December open.
These sound big, by the way, just to.
Yeah, they're quite.
2258, so it should be maybe, but 26.
Yeah,
60. But she's got to have it as a solo show to be able to do that.
okay, I'll check with her. It'll see if she doesn't do sharing.
Yes.
That might just embed her.
You wouldn't need here, I don't.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, if they were that big, and they were frankly, a lot of them are quite large. I'll,
So we approve her and then we'll double check on the photo show. And if that's what she really, then she needs to up her pieces.
okay,
So I just submit to it.
okay. And Scott is right, I'll check on them.
Yeah.
Scott is, okay.
Because if it's gonna be a solo show, we need to be able to fill the downstairs.
I'll make that clear.
Okay, so that one should be, and the other one that I noted was Savannah. Piece that's represented there is Captain Alice. Like labeled on that, and that is clearly half basket, which is still currently illegal. In terms of use. Is that something that the city policies allow, that's in the air commission approving of? It is an artist depiction of this, and that is a well-known story that was very much written on drugs, but, what is I double checked as the ORS only talks about nudity in second situations, so it is pretty much fully on what either a city policy that I'm not aware of, or the commission's choice.
I mean, we could look back at code of conduct, not code of conduct, our values. I would have freedom of speech 100%. I think we would have a hard time showing drug use or sexual images or things that incite violence in City Hall.
Big standard.
Do we know from the other images that were sent, okay, all of these, you know, the different,
It's hard to tell.
I wouldn't necessarily have called that one out, except that was the representative image.
And it's something that I think we should definitely talk about in a future meeting, is that we ask folks to provide a sample of their work. But any can pretty much show up here, and that leads it to Lisa to come and ask us, what do we do about this? So I think we potentially need to spell out explicitly if there are values that this group has that we would like to outline that would exclude things besides the fact that they need to be framed, they need to be under 15 pounds, all that kind of good stuff. I think that would be helpful, or it needs to be at the discretion of staff that if something is deemed violent, sexual, or,
If we,
that puts a lot of pressure on individuals, so I would rather us come up with some sort of formula.
if we could, with a policy, put it in the application, and then that way they're seeing it right up front before they even press send, that anything that's depicting these kinds of things is not going to be allowed.
Well, advocating violence, maybe that's a qualifier, because I mean, people could express violence in an abstract fashion, and it wouldn't necessarily look violent. Yeah, inciting
I think, I was just going to say, I think the advent of a specific policy or guideline or something already in place, that it's considered free speech.
But there are policies in place.
Okay.
She just.
We do have policies saying that this group, you can decide if something is appropriate to hang in the gallery. So you all are determining the merit of what can go in there.
What is the exact verbiage of the guideline? Do we have that?
We don't know, we can't pull up her other notes.
We can. We're not just users.
From the phones.
I'm sorry, say that again.
No, can you, in the agenda, I see those. You see how it's moving like this, so you click directly on it and it'll show you the image.
From what I remember, the two after the acid one, it was just the cookies from Nelson one that said eat me and the drink that said drink me. Are you able to access that here and show us and share the screen by any chance?
We have a lot to cover, and personally, I would feel like if we could put her on hold, she indicated that she is open all the way. So if we delay her for a month, each of us look at the pictures on her, and she can open them up in the email.
Revisit
At our next meeting.
Yeah.
No idea we could do.
And then the other one. Oh, you didn't talk to her yet.
That was the two that I caught there is.
Oh, is that Amy Scan?
Okay, so I would be fine with the.
Everybody knows.
With 4 out of the 5 days, there's been holding decision to confirm what our stance and policy is.
Drugs and what, yeah, okay.
So, is there anybody else that had any questions about any of the other areas? I brought up my, what I never. Did you have one on the other areas?
Oh, I was just saying, do we, as long as we're just gonna do the thing,
We're
and
just gonna vote, yeah, I just hope everybody reviewed, and if you had any issues, bring them up.
but the one gal we're gonna hold. So I move to approve the minutes as submitted, except for the one.
Except for Andrea.
Thank you.
I think it's at the end.
No.
Two.
Sorry. Savannah. Sorry.
Yeah, was.
Yeah.
This is the only,
Yes.
Tabling.
take our time and look at other pictures, yeah.
The notes.
And I want to review the policy.
Sure. Yeah, it's on our web, so it's on our website. I can send it, I can follow up, but would it actually be me to read it in preparation for probably a portion of the conversation we're going next? All right, City Hall criteria. All members of the committee may submit their work for consideration. Albany Arts Commission will jury artwork before exhibits are accepted. Artists will supply samples of their work before the deadline outlined below. Artists must include a short bio and a statement. Albany Arts Commission members will be subject to the same requirements as community members in exhibiting their works. Albany Arts Commission members who submit their work for consideration must publicly announce to the commission that they have submitted work for consideration. That member will not be allowed to take part in the selection process. Work that is deemed too fragile or unsafe for display will not be accepted. One criteria for determining the acceptability of art will be the space requirements or size. Suggested maximum weight is 15 pounds, although exceptions may be made. All pieces must be appropriately and securely framed and mounted for display as described. Each of the works of art need to be accompanied by information tag with title, artist, price, and medium. An inventory list of all items shown in the gallery is required by the Albany Arts Commission to be kept on file. Albany Arts Commission is prohibited from displaying pornographic or obscene materials pursuant to ORS 167-87. Albany Arts Commission will be responsible for determining the quality and merits. The commission reserves the right to refuse any. The artist is required to sign a loan agreement. All arrangements for scheduling the installation, exhibition, and removal are at the discretion of the Albany Arts Commission. Guilds and galleries are encouraged to apply and will be treated as a single artist or exhibit. Depending on the applicant pool, exhibits may be considered for 1 or 2 month periods. Artists may submit pieces for review each year, however, priority will be given to new artists. The artist may choose to price their art and make their art available for sale. The Albany Arts Commission takes a 15% commission on all sold pieces. If a piece is sold, a red dot will be placed on the piece to indicate sale. The Arts Commission prefers to leave pieces up for the duration of the contract.
So since we have to add something.
A lot.
Yeah.
We need to review the board.
So it's
It's very specific pornography and nudity. It doesn't have anything to do with, but the drugs.
does indicate that any nudity is considered pornographic.
Yeah,
In
okay.
regulation of the state, so that if you just have a nude model, it would be qualified as.
Yeah,
Which was our conversation at the last meeting about the David, since there was no genitalia, we knew that it was.
Yeah. Yes. So, first, we need to finalize this approval. We had a motion to approve 4 out of the 5 artists. The one that we're tabling is the Van West. Do we have seconds?
I'll second.
You got there first. Any discussion? All in favor of approving the 4 artists, say aye. Any opposed? Okay. So that will close out our scheduled business. And been prepping for business from new players. We'll start that section and go with these.
The bid. Okay, so with this last, as you may not know, it was not to the success as our previous shows. There were some problems. There were a lot of problems. And we don't have a policy regarding group shows. So I drafted this up at the meet to just have discussion. We have to have it submitted still today, but we need to, I need it, okay, because I said 5 artists because more than 5, I can manage, you know, that many people, and I've had as many as 4 or 5 in the year, not as a group show, but because that's the number of artists I needed to, you know, to make it a decent show. I think anybody that wants less than 5 artists, if they're asking for their own show, then they would have to come up with a minimum, and you, Nolan, you might, Maddie, you might comment on that, of 30 pieces. Because to go through the effort and the money to put on First Friday for 1 artist and 5 pieces is not going to happen. That doesn't make sense to me. Don't make it. Then the group must have a contact person, and that's where this whole thing fell apart, was the contact person was not doing what they were supposed to do. Now, with May show, Stephanie Lowe was in charge. She was the contact person. She did a great job. She worked really hard at pulling 22 artists together. The other group show was with the watercolor people. The contact person was Ellen Hansen, and she did a really great job. But that's what I have to have. I can't manage a ton of people. We had 5 no-shows for this show. The artists just never showed up. And that has never happened. So I don't know what to say about that. We kept in communication with Casper to let him know we need more people, we need more people. If you remember that, with you might miss that meeting. But
That was the bad.
we were in trouble because there just wasn't enough work to really, you know, so, Anyway, it's basically telling these people, if you want that many artists, you've got to have a contact person, they organize you, they send you, I mean, you do the initial, you've been accepted, here's all the information. And then it just spells out what I already do. But that would be the agreement with the contact person. This is what you do, this is what I'll do. Even though, you know, we told contact person before this show all of that, it just didn't come together. So I'm asking for that, a policy for group shows. So we don't run into it all again.
Reasonable to me, if they're showing as a group, they need a group. I mean, need be some sort of group organization. I mean,
Now, would this policy have, I'm less aware of whatever happened on Friday. So, would this policy have prevented the issue on Friday? Okay.
Yeah, it would. Because I think at that point, if the contact person is not doing what they need to do, and staying in touch with me and letting me know what the status is, then the show, I don't know what would happen. I don't really know. This hasn't happened before, so it's all new to me as to, usually people are so excited to be in here, and they're so excited to show that they're emailing me sometimes 2-3 times a day, you know, saying, well, what about this? What about that? You know, okay, here we go. But like I say, for the group, I can't be doing that. I have a life, and this particular position does take up a lot of time. So I need the relief of at least having a policy in place so that if people contact me, I know, and we've been clear with them, so that if, for instance, we figure out that there were 6 no-shows at the artist installation, I'm not sure what we want to decide to do about that, but it may be that would entail not having a show.
or just not working.
And, well, there's that. So.
Well, thank you for all that you do.
Yeah.
It is getting more complicated if we're gonna have these, this is the first time, like I say, that this happened.
I think absolutely then we need a policy in place for that. Just to respect your time.
And it's a good choice. The goal.
Right.
The one thing, so we had 6 people that didn't show up.
Okay.
They didn't contact me. I finally had an artist contact me today, and she said it had gotten lost in her family. Well, you know, you're an adult, you applied, it's been 3 weeks since you received a letter saying you're in the show. So, right, and at the minimum, cast for the person who was in charge of being the contact person didn't, and even though I found out what he should be doing, it just didn't happen, so.
I will say that the people that were there, the artists that were there at the reception were very happy and pleased to be here and were excited.
And that, yeah, they showed up on Friday. There were 2 that we needed to reschedule the time that they were gonna drop off their pieces. And so 2 different days, I had to come down 2 different times to meet with people who can't make the installation on the date. I called Belinda a little bit, your Linda, Kim.
Yes.
And, you know, we were talking about that, and she said, well, I said, would it be okay if they came to you to drop off their pieces so that I don't have to keep them? And she said, yeah, so, yeah. Well, I agree. We just need a motion. Unless there's more discussion. So.
I'm still like a little, so in terms of no-show, did they ever respond? Or do you mean they just simply didn't, they responded and then did not show up the day of the installation? Because that was, when I heard no-show, I assumed they responded saying, yeah, it's great, thank you.
And then just-
And then they didn't show up.
And I have to go back and look, I think one of them, or two of them responded, and then didn't show up. And then, I don't know if it was Spain. Like, any of the, that was the other issue. And
Well, reading that, the only thing, one thing I know I would change on here is 2C. You said, if you read 2, the group must have a point contact person. This person is responsible for the following. Then C says, stay in contact with the artist regarding First Fridays and sales of the local. That should be stay in contact with the artist and gallery chair or committee liaison. I knew, not with this show, with the previous show, there was a sale and nobody from our group really knew about it.
nope.
So that could be reworded to let the commission or the city know that there's a sale.
Well, the city should call me or email me.
Right, that sounds like it's a backdoor thing, same here.
Piece that was down here that was sold on the day of, that wasn't our sold sticker, that one.
Yeah, it popped up, and so we didn't have any accounting for it. But it sounds like it was sold verbally, but not money transaction. Yeah.
And then they came, paid for it, and took it.
Yeah, that could have very easily switched around where none of us knew it was sold or something.
Yeah.
So it should, I'm just saying it should be in. The Arts Commission, stay in contact with the Arts Commission and or the city, and the city. All three people should know that the thing is sold, not just the artist and not just the group, but we should know. Kim and her team should know. Okay.
Yeah.
So the commission to me. Okay.
There's a part that concerns me. Oh, sorry, Nolan, are you?
No, yeah, you're
Are
good.
you good? That in number 3, if the artist can be at specifying installation, they must contact the gallery chair directly. Well, I think that's leaving the window open to more do.
Okay.
And, you're having to be here multiple times to meet with people who couldn't make the first date and, bending over backwards to make sure that you accommodate them. I think if they can't make the date when they're accepted, they can wait till the following month. Oh, that's true. That's
Well,
true.
Their person.
Yes.
This brings up a whole other issue, because I know I've shown a lot of group shows and many solos, if any. And there's a window of time where artists are allowed.
Yeah.
We need to work by a certain date, but typically I say weeks ahead of time and it's stored until it's ready to be hung.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like there's a ability, but that should be worked in somehow with this point person, maybe takes their submissions and brings it to you.
And just one person
Brings it to me.
instead of.
Well, it needs to be worked out somehow, so just like those 5 people that didn't show up, maybe they did have one, we're just gonna get here in this time period, maybe they could have gave it to Casper or Keith,
Well,
they could have run it down.
I had all these other people, like 3 people who couldn't make the day in time.
Right.
Yes, 3.
How would we alleviate this? If they couldn't deliver it to.
Yes.
They can't be delivered here, but if they could deliver it to
Their point.
their point person, then.
And then the point person comes to installation with a body of work.
So
Then the point person would come to installation with a body of work. And
Yes.
then here's what we're gonna.
he or she is responsible for. So we'll need to reword this,
Yeah.
bring it back next.
I think the whole goal is for communication at least.
Yeah.
That somebody taking responsibility for art being delivered.
Okay.
And we're not leaving it all to you to have to continue to, be here multiple times and accommodate yourself to their schedule.
Right, which is why I like Nolan's idea that they can bring it to the deck. But hopefully, that would only be to.
Emergency, yeah.
Yeah, and actually, but all the people, I mean, we had 22 artists last month that needed to do that.
And I'm just saying,
So,
if details can't be worked out, then this.
okay. All right, let me reword that. And we'll look at it again. Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yep. One more thing, and I think this is a biggie. And I don't know if some of the new people don't maybe. Okay, so, it's not important to me that the language describing each of these, jobs is spelled out this way. But what I'm trying to make everybody aware of is that everybody has a job here other than warming a chair or just coming to the meeting. You have to participate. You have to take on one of these jobs, or there may be other jobs, I don't even know. But for instance, now we're talking about the wall again with the coalition people. Who's gonna head that up? I'm not. That is not. I can tell you that, because we both have jobs already. Nolan has been attending almost all of them for Friday, helping with that.
Yeah.
And installation and de-installation, he's helping me. So he's already participating, but,
And every fundraiser too.
and every fundraiser.
Yeah.
So we need basically you guys to, and Amanda does the refreshments for the first Friday, and she's done every single first Friday.
So far, yeah, too.
So, and the things like the first Friday and the fundraising, we expect participation. I mean, I expect it from people on the commission. I think it's important. I think otherwise we're not gonna get anywhere, you know what I mean? The grant, who's gonna write the grant? Now, if I write the grant, which I've got a pretty good start, who's gonna do the gallery? Because I can't do it. So if we want to move forward, to churn and talk about these wonderful ideas, but if we don't have people that are specifically going to say, yes, I will do this, then we're not going to get anywhere, other than what, because the first Friday money is over the end of this year.
We did make $45 Friday night. I forgot to, yeah, we did. So, yeah. And can I add something to this about, I have a thought,
This is for everybody to think about.
yeah. With getting enough people in participating for our commission, and it's only 7 of us. And I know we all have lives. So I had actually brought this, ran it by Jackie, Jackie works very formally. She's not even my counselor, but she was here Friday night. And I said, what if each council could appoint two to a ward? Up to two. And he said up to two would be the word that we would use, because not every 2 people would be in one to participate in every ward. But if that was the case, then we might have a larger pool of people who would have conflicting dates and family emergencies and illnesses and all of those things that come up for all of us, right? And I might have a full-time, I wear a lot of hats and I'm busy all of the time as well. So, I mean, it's just trying to carve that time out. So it's a thought. We would have to talk about it.
Yes.
And as Jackie said, there would be the quorum issues, so we'd have to talk about that too. But if we had it up to 2, then it might expand the school a little further. But then city staff has to go with an increased amount of people too, so it's just a.
And that would probably take, well, that would be the city council thing.
Yeah.
It would be something that we would bring in the fall meeting,
Yeah.
with the recommendation and
Yeah.
as a, you know, point of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just something I haven't. A solution.
A lot, many hands make it work. And if we're all talking about these great things, and but.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I definitely have time right now. So I'm new, so I don't know where I would fit in, and I don't know where to interject myself, but when you say that you need volunteers, I have volunteered and I've tried to be there, except for that one time I got sick, and then this past month when I didn't have my car. So now that that's all figured out, I'm available for I mean, I can do a lot. I ran a laboratory of 13 chemists. I did computer forensics for a very long time. So I'm very good at doing stuff and having lots of hats as well. So I'm actually really relaxed right now in life because I just got off of disability and I'm just doing art. So I'm teaching. So that's so I have time for all stuff.
So that's what this is for you.
Yeah, no idea.
To do what I'd be good at, what attracts me to the jobs that are here. And I think that's important that we all kind of have a position, not just, oh, I want a position.
Right.
What do you do?
And I had no idea. Yeah. Thank you.
So,
Formal, like,
Position here.
there hasn't been, so this would be something that this group is creating.
When I first joined the commission, I had anticipated stepping into some of these roles, but it seemed like they were going to be taken. And then I had a lot of changes happen in my life, which totally changed my scheduling. And so I had days and times that were not available that I had previously anticipated would be available. And so yes, I have definitely wanted to do more than I've been able to lately. So I think it's a great idea to have designations, and I wish we had started this last year.
Yeah. It was a little bit crazy. And I think that when we came on, or when I came on, Nolan, you and I came on at the same time. This wasn't around.
Yeah.
And, it was the first year, Nolan and I kept looking at each other, what's happening?
The 2 meetings we had that year.
And it was an evolving group. It's a different mindset, a different action oriented group. The past has been more providing consulting or recommendations. It wasn't necessarily like, wow, we're gonna make money, we're gonna figure this out. That has been an evolving vibe with this group. So I think this follows suit. If I were to interject, I would say it would be great to have somebody maybe as like a public art, like the person who keeps kind of like you guys were doing the inventory. I think somebody who is on top of all of that and I don't know, like this is our spreadsheet of what it is and where we. I think that would be somebody that would be really helpful if somebody was going to own a project. And then yes, somebody to work with Hub City. I checked with Republic Services if they still want to have us keep the money. I think that would be an opportunity for somebody to say, I'm going to affiliate with the schools, like this will be my project. So those would be the 2 that I would, if this is going to get revised or if folks would envision something, those would be 2 that I think would be helpful for the group.
Yeah.
And if we can have people.
And we're maybe gonna sign up for the next 3
I didn't bring it. I will send it out via email. I apologize. That was my bad. It's on my computer.
We're gonna sign up, we're gonna make a schedule for the,
First release.
yeah, first, so we know.
And I'm going to do a calendar engagement to it, but I will create a calendar for us.
Okay.
And
Sorry.
nope,
Are you saying of the artists that are going to show on that month, or?
I'm talking about calendar things that are happening, coming up, like if we have, like the grandparents in October.
Like an online, like virtual kind of shared calendar, we can, that's not technically.
So, virtual shared, something being the city hall.
You know, basic, with the calendar and all that stuff on the page, we have stuff, but
And just attach it to you, yeah.
Just be able.
it's not going to Kim.
Yeah.
Kim gets to disseminate.
That'll be great.
Okay.
And I can send out the sign-up sheet, and if you have thoughts that you want, go ahead and send them to me. I apologize, at the next meeting, list and folks want to start filling themselves, and we can go from there. Yes, we are.
In terms of adding more people, I wouldn't necessarily be for adding more people voted on by the board, but because of quorum issues, I meant the issues because of quorum issues with meetings, I think going from 7 to 14 raises a lot of opportunity for quorum problems.
Jack is the.
But,
Yeah.
However, we have in the past, Stephanie Lowe used to be a volunteer for this group. It is an opportunity, it is a possibility. That if we can find somebody that wants to be on the commission that hasn't been able to get a seat, they could be invited to come and hang out with us anyway. And this is,
Good.
They should all have voting.
I don't know if it would be possible to get a list of people that requested to be on the commission, or if that's considered private information.
Yeah, who appointed, would that be an appointment?
I mean, just be like, the area commission mentioned something.
So I just had this idea, instead of having two from each board, one idea is if we keep it to one per ward, but then perhaps increase the number of mayor appointees to 3 instead of 1, 4. Yeah. Then it would just bump up our numbers a little bit.
I think the mayor has that.
That's one of it.
It's one, yeah,
But
two.
What you just said about
Yeah,
people goes up, so does the number needed for.
But it wouldn't be doubling the size, it would not be doubling the size of the commission, it would simply be slightly increasing
Yeah,
instead of
okay, we'll think on that too.
just trying to find ways to.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to get more involved, so this is good.
Okay, so remember what we're doing now.
I'm just gonna circle back and I apologize on this. So this was, because I need to get back to the benefactor and tell her no.
So when is this, so when is it?
I-
And you guys have done this before?
I would shoot it down.
Okay.
Is what I would say.
And-
Like, they don't know, it's a lot of
Generate.
things.
Right?
Yeah. so-
Oh, I thought it was.
No, sometimes.
it's time and labor intensive.
Yes. So, okay,
Yeah.
I will, I just wanted to clarify. So thank you and.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
not being afraid to say no.
Yeah.
That's another thing that we don't. So, Amanda, did you have anything else?
No.
Stop it. No. I got nothing. Yeah.
There, some additional pieces were brought in last minute. I took them down because they were reviewed by the commission. Really good. I'll finish up there. They weren't reviewed by the commission. We didn't have detailed information. The person who brought in the art said, you know, the commission's interested, we can look to keep them reading our criteria and just kind of seeing where we are with consistency. While we have a few additional pieces up, I think maybe that's something we can revisit at a later time, but at this time, it seems like it's maybe not a good fit for pushing through 2 weeks into the month.
Do we know who this person is?
It was a mixture, it was like 5 or 6 additional artists.
And none of them have previously been.
No. It's,
So they just put it up in art?
So it was, again, it's okay, I don't think it'll be an issue that we have. They were here for 90 minutes and then they were out. As special guests of the promoter host. So, so from a personal collection, yes. So it was a learning opportunity, but if it's okay, I think we're all right with just saying that, I have them in my office and that they go back to their respective owners.
yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Cool, thank you. That's all I have.
Is that what you did for me? And adjourn. Yeah.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it. Definitely do.
Did you ever do that?
Still, it's still process.
Oh, wait.
We need to end for this meeting. We're still,
Okay.
It's still good.